NXT started with a backstage promo where Kushida and Ciampa couldn't get their hands off of each other, so match started on the way. It ended up with a disqualification. Ciampa because Valentine Dream came in and interfered with the match. Later on, Ember Moon decided to help Rhea Ripley to go against Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. It seems that during her promo, Ember Moon has her eyes once again on the NXT Championship. I think that's very bold and respectful. Drake Mavericks and Killian Dean versus the Ever Rise. Uh, Maverick and Dean
Yeah.
defeated Ever Rise via pinfall.
This has a little reminiscence of what Daniel Bryan and Kane did back in Raw. I don't know how effective it's gonna be in NXT, but I feel like this reminds me of that grouping of kind of like a monster and somebody comedy or somebody that doesn't go with that person. But they could make it work. It'd be fun. It'd be interesting for NXT.
All right, continue with the rundown. Is Austin Theory versus Leon Ruff versus Theory versus Dexter Luminous. It seems that Theory sent out a challenge after he finished one match. So Theory did defeat Ruff via pinfall, but then Luminous defeated Theory via submission. So not sure where that's going, but I guess they're trying to use them as much as possible. In the saddest news that we got yesterday, Rich Holland versus Danny Burch. Sally Burch got into a terrible, terrible incident on his right back leg. We're not sure if it's
Rich Holland got
yeah,
yeah. Rich, I think it was a bad catch when I think Oni Lorcan was diving and
yeah, but
that
we don't know if it's like the hamstring, ankle, or like the
There were some reports they compare it to the it was an ankle injury. He was
ankle.
grabbing his knee that airing yesterday on TV, but when I was reading the report, it was saying ankle.
Well, with that, even with the injury that occurred, Holland still got the pin over Burch, which given him a good record, but we might not see him
Mm-hmm.
for a while. Later, we had Blackheart versus Zia Lee. Blackheart wins again via pinfall. Lee seems to be joining some new cartel for NXT. And then I think it was the main event: Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley versus Raquel and Dakota Kai, the superstars of NXT Women Division, got the W over Dakota Kai and Raquel. So what we are understanding is that they're back in the drawing board. Unfortunately, Ridge seems to be the future of NXT
Mm-hmm.
in a sense because I guess they had a great push for him, especially with Adam Cole and other superstars. But that's going to be on hold. So now they have to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to build up a new star or who currently will be able to build up a star. My personal opinion is Valentine Dream, Kushida, and Ciampa should do a triple threat match to see who will be the number one contender for the NXT Championship.
I That's a good idea. I feel like they just got a new crop or new basically alumni for NXT. I would say why don't they? I don't know if people know too much of the former Evolve champion, but I feel like a lot of Evolve champions are in NXT or through a sprinkle throughout Raw and SmackDown. I feel like they just need to. It might take a week or two, but they should push the I would say former current Evolve champion onto the main stage of NXT, and I think that's a possible big star that you could make pretty quick because he has some experience working with the people that are already in NXT.
And what's that person name
I
is?
think it's Jason Briggs. He changed his name, but he is. Let me just verify. Champion. It is the last match he had Jason Briggs. Yeah, so the last match he had against the one that I saw last October. It was against AR Fox, but he's basically the last Evolve champion, Jason Briggs. And he's faced almost everybody that we've seen in NXT and also in the main roster. He's faced Keith Lee, he's faced Finn Balor, he's faced Adam Cole. Basically, everybody that came from the Indies or through Evolve, he has faced them, and he's basically was the last Evolve champion. So I feel like if they're able to put a package together or something together for him, and they could create a big star. So he has the size, he has the basically the athleticism, and also the mic skill to be a good feature star. But let's see if they give him the opportunity, because I know it's going to take him a little time to adjust from the indies to the main stage. But I feel like that's another pendant star. But the triple threat, it will be interesting because Velveteen Dream accidentally attacked Ciampa, so I think that might create a new feud between the three.
It is, because me thinking for NXT for them, just for a quick second, even though personally they don't really need much help when it comes to the idea section of their matches, but honestly, your hottest three players right now is Ciampa, is Kushida, and is Balancing Dream. I mean, you could definitely try again with Adam Cole if you want, but I guess he's a little bit like already overused in the platform. I like for the NXT Championship, we need like some new flavor.
How about Timothy Thatcher? You think if that stage would be too big for him or not at the moment?
Not at the moment. North American, sure.
Okay, but not NXT. Yeah, because I feel like Rich Allen I feel like they could have packaged him. Unfortunately, the accident happened, but I feel like he was in a trajectory to face potential Finn Balor, which we saw at the NXT TakeOver, and also I feel like there's not a British connection to maybe Imperium or something, but we know the Imperium and the Undisputed Era have some beef, and in the back burner, so they could create some tension between the two, but it's now they have to think about new people. And also I think this accident happened. I feel like the draft could assist and bringing over some stars or some faces from SmackDown or Raw to NXT, which could be a possibility.
Now, I mean, I don't really hope anybody else should be going down to NXT. In my personal opinion, only those who have not been utilized that often. So the only one person that I could see going back to NXT will be Chad Gable.
What about Daniel Bryan?
No.
You haven't seen him. But I'm saying, like, that's the only thing he hasn't done. And he was part of NXT. He was part of NXT back in the day. And I feel like it's just I feel like that could help out the brand, I think.
No, they don't need him. Who needs them will be either Raw or SmackDown. Those are the two brand personally, and we're talking about from our own personal perspective. Personally, Daniel Bryan with Raw or SmackDown could be more useful. NXT itself, they already have certain talents, you know what I'm saying, that could already carry them, even when their star player, like right now, Finn Balor, O'Reilly. Now we have freaking Holland, you know what I'm saying? Right. They're down and out, but yet you still have other stars that could still carry the brand and build up a great story. I mean, Luminous is back. We got Dream. We got Kushida. We got Ciampa. We got Gargano. We still got Priest. They could try to do something with Mavericks and Drake to see if they could, and Killian Dan to see if they could do something for the tag team division. So even if the NXT is not being represented at the fullest, they still have players that could still cover for those areas. So that's why Daniel Bryan is not necessarily needed in NXT, but NXT will be, I feel like a few players will be going back up to the to SmackDown this upcoming Friday. I don't know who exactly, but I feel like a few of them might even.
But I like that for NXT, I like that they created new stories and kind of like they evolving with the talent. And at least it's a not a machine churning new superstars, but I like that. For example, even from before, like beginning of the year, like we had the Legado Fantasma, that program and that whole concept flourished throughout the Cruiserweight division. Now I'm curious how the Xia Li situation is gonna work out. I don't know if they're gonna do another cartel, because we haven't seen Boa in forever. He's been one of the not jobbers for the division, but it's kind of like one of the people we haven't he's normally they tend to lose, and Xylee's been in a losing streak, so I don't know if they're gonna form another mafia or some type of like something, which would be interesting to see in NXT. But her joining somebody like them will be great. I don't know who else is gonna be in the group, but I wonder what was written on the list on the letter that she received. That's what caught my attention, especially for that match.
I mean, we'll find out if it's a new stable with Big Boa building up a new story. Her leading the way for the NXT. I mean, that's a great project for 2021, honestly, to build up from. Kushida could maybe be one of the ringleader. Who knows? Anything could happen. Anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a big surprise for me with NXT. I have no problem, again, with their NXT division or their women division. I think the weak division right now is their tag team because we're not getting
we
much.
haven't seen them in like a couple of weeks.
But other than that, their cruiserweight is pretty good too. So with NXT, I like I said, like they're still keeping it consistent all 2020. SmackDown and Raw are slowly progressing since June, since they let go of all the executive managers for each brand. So it's really interesting to see how things are developing for each side.
True. And also, like, I'm kind of looking back and thinking about what's happening later on in the future. I'm not saying I wasn't surprised that Shotzi Blackheart won, but I feel like this win was to give her some hype because she's hosting the next takeover, Halloween Havoc. So I feel like they don't want her to be like in a losing streak going to a pay-per-view that's in a couple of weeks. So I feel like her being the host, she's gonna cash in some momentum, and also like she might get maybe some, not a stardom of superstar like push, but I feel like she could kind of take this as like an opportunity to advance in the division. And I hope Finn Balor's healthy by then, and I hope they bring the Demon Finn back, especially for Halloween Havoc, which will fit perfectly.
No, you're asking for too much. Finn Balor just returning. I believe medical updates on him is that within a week or two, he should be back, be able to talk perfectly fine. I'm not sure if he's going to have the clearance to do much performance. So, again, the Demon King doesn't do talking. He does action. So, I don't think he's going to get the clearance for that. I think he's going to be safe more for November for Survivor Series, where him and I'm not sure if he's going to be part of a triple threat match, but if he is leading the Survivor Series team, that would be a great element to add on and give like great support for the gold and black. Any other topic you want to touch on NXT before we move to AEW?
I think we got cover a little bit of everything. I'm just waiting for the tag team division to do something because we've seen every belt being showcased, especially for the takeover and stuff. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes or the teams or whatever, but we've seen the tag teams individuals have matches scattered throughout like the weeks, but we haven't seen Breezango in a while. So I don't know what's going on, and I hope the division flourish with the new crop of alumni coming over, or maybe supplemented through the draft. But that's the only thing I'm just like hesitant and pending about the tag team division for NXT. Is just like I hope they get it together. Agreed.
With that being said, guys, this is the Providence Lucha Talk. If you like what you heard and you like how we do things, please make sure you follow us. You know what I'm saying? You found us by mistake, we say thank you. And also, please hit the like button. Please follow us on the social media. We're on the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as the YouTube. Give us the 5-star on the Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And, just rock with your boys because we're going to continue doing this until we decide to take a break. And guess what? Wrestling don't really take breaks. So, anywho, this is your boy, Jay Aguila.
This is Luisito.
And we said buenas noches.
See ya.